Hi, and welcome to Baking with Grace. I am Dyann Duncan, the Women's Ministry Director here at Grace Evangelical Church. And with me is my daughter today. This is Mykal Duncan.
Hello.
And I asked her to come in today because we're kind of trying to do church a little different right now during this whole quarantine time. So what we thought we would do is we would try to connect with people by baking or cooking something and then having someone I can talk to while I'm doing it. And so today happens to be my daughter Mykal. So Mykal is a student at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. She's a senior, which we have feelings all over the board with that, you know, due to this virus and being out of school, and she had to come home, and being a senior, needing to find a job and get grades and all that kind of fun stuff, which I'm sure there are several seniors out there in high school and college experiencing this dilemma, as well as parents. So just know our hearts are right there with you. We're going through that same event with you, and we know that God is in control. He is on the throne, and that all this will work out. And we might have a few tears and some stress along the way, but we'll be all right. So as many of you know, Mykal had a heart incident several years ago when she was a freshman in high school. And so I know several of you have prayed for her. So this might just be a treat, just getting to see her. Some of you probably haven't seen her for a while. So here she is. Several of you asked me how she's doing. You want to tell us a little bit about your experience and life down in Nashville since you've left us?
Yeah, so living in Nashville has been amazing. It still blows my mind sometimes to think about the fact that I'm down there. I've had amazing experiences and opportunities I would have never had back here, just with people that I've come into contact with, people that I go to church with. I go to church with Thomas Brett. That's a lot of fun. But just the people that I've met and the different opportunities through music that I have become available to me just through going to school in Nashville. So it was very different and very hard. I don't want to say it was hard to get used to it at first, but it was quite a change from the life I had here in Savannah and St. Joe.
I totally understand. So let's hold it right there because we need to get cooking, or we're just going to talk the whole time. So today we're going to make Navajo flatbread, which is, I know some of you around Grace have had it before. We used to have a lady that came in and did a fundraiser for an Indian reservation where she would make this flatbread and put it and use it for tacos. So when I saw the video of this recipe, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like what they use for chalupas at Taco Bell, which huge fan of Taco Bell. So I'm really excited because we're going to make these, and then the Duncan family is going to eat these at a later date. So what you'll need is 2 cups of flour, which we already have measured out. You'll need some lukewarm water, a cup to a cup and a quarter, and then you'll need a tablespoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of kosher salt, and then a tablespoon of oil or butter or shortening, whatever your preference is. And today we're going to use olive oil. So, all right, so Mykal, would you like to mix our flour? And after that, I'll need you to do the 1 tablespoon of baking soda. And the baking soda is right there in that big bag.
Oh wow, that is a big bag.
Yeah, we're a big church, so we need baking soda.
Okay. Tablespoon of baking soda.
And then the teaspoon of, sorry, I don't know what I was doing there, but there you go. And then we will take a tablespoon of this.
No,
right.
Water.
First we have to mix that together.
Okay.
So let's just kind of stir that around with your hand. This is where the kids will really have fun if you have littles. Who am I kidding? I think my older children will love this because it's just going to get kind of messier as we go, but but it's going to be fun. And so bring your kids and have some fun cooking with them during this time that you're inside. You call it, we used to call it home economics. I think they call it FACS class, FCCLA or something like that now. But anyway, it's fun to cook together. So now you need to add your water. Mix and add most of it. So go ahead and add that because we still have a 1/4 cup. So go ahead and get your hands in there, mix that up.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that feels interesting.
Mix it good though. But all you're doing is mixing right now. You're not kneading yet. We'll knead here in a minute after we get the rest of the ingredients in there. So I'm going to come around to you and get this, and I'm going to go ahead and put the oil in. Okay, and mix that together. And so this makes 6 individual flatbreads. So after she gets done kneading it, what we need to do, but because of time constraints, we're kind of editing this for our own benefit, but what we'll need to do is put it in a greased bowl for about 30 minutes. Well, to be a respecter of time, because I know a lot of women don't have 30 minutes to wait as we're talking and everything, we'll wait a little bit, but we're not going to wait the full 30 to 60 minutes depending on what you can do. So, okay, now that you've done that, go ahead and pull it out. I don't know if this is like, cookish, like okay or not, but this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to use the bowl that we just rolled that in and kneaded it in, and we're going to put it back in that bowl and let it sit and rise for 30 minutes. We're probably going to take a little break here so we can wash our hands, and then we'll be right back to you. Yeah. Okay, you're gross. Okay. Okay, so while we're letting our dough rest, I'm just going to talk to Mykal a little bit about her senior year, her college experience, and that kind of thing, to just kind of maybe help with some moms and some graduating high school seniors that are going to be going off to college, and maybe we can answer some questions or maybe put some minds at ease. So, Mykal, one thing I wanted to ask you was, you're a senior. What was the hardest thing about going to college, about actually going to college?
The hardest thing about going to college for me was being away from home. I am a homebody, and I get very homesick very easily. With that being said, I also was excited about the new adventure that awaited me because I was going somewhere that I had never been before, where I knew nobody else. And so I think the hardest part was especially the first few nights after getting to Nashville, and even still coming back from like winter break or Thanksgiving break. It's always hard being away from my family, and so that's the hardest part.
Okay, so besides being away from family, what was the hardest part?
Okay. I would say the next hardest part was being out of the loop. I felt disconnected from my friends back here. Life went on without me, and so it was really hard to see everyone else kind of going about their lives, all my different friends, going on to different jobs or staying around here for college. And while it was exciting to have my own experiences in Nashville, it was kind of sad because I felt left behind.
So what were some things, what did you do to help you get through those things?
I made friends. I'm not very good at putting myself into social situations with people I don't know, but that was something I wanted to change when I went to college. And so I tried to become friends with everybody that I came into contact with. I joined lots of different clubs. I went to basketball games. I went to church. And so I made a lot of friends down in Nashville, and that made it a lot easier for me to get used to it down there because we were all in the same boat. We were all in unfamiliar territory.
Right. So how hard is it taking care of yourself? Because that was one thing as a mom. Not that, my high schooler really needed me to brush her hair or anything like that, but still there's that mom part of you that needs to be connected and taking care of your child, and it's just severed once they go off to college. And so how hard was that for you?
So at first it was a little bit strange to get used to. I don't want to say it was difficult just because of how you raised me. I was pretty good on my own, but I started my freshman year in just a suite style dorm, which meant it was basically just a bedroom with a shared bathroom with 3 other girls. And it wasn't like I had a whole lot of growing up to do because I still went to the cafeteria for my meals. I really only had to do my laundry and then basic housekeeping. Now I'm a senior and I live in an apartment with my roommate, and we, have to cook our own meals, do our own laundry, the dishes, that kind of thing.
The cleaning.
And the cleaning. But it's not that I didn't do that when I was at home, because I did.
Right. You had a chore list, right?
Yes. But I've become more responsible now, especially from where I was my freshman year. I can take care of myself on my own. And so that was kind of...
It was a progression for you.
It was,
That made it probably easier than just going straight into like an apartment or
Yeah,
something.
if I had gone straight into an apartment, I would have crashed and burned. It had to be a gradual thing. I learned how to separate myself from my life at home.
Right, because one of the things I'm going to ask you later on, which we'll talk in, is budgeting time and money and stuff. But I know one of the things that was kind of funny, but probably not for Mykal, was one of the first times she got sick at college.
Oh.
She called me and she's like, will you call and make me a doctor's appointment? And I was like, no. You picked to go to college in Nashville, so you're a big girl, you can do this. And so she had to start making her own doctor's appointments, which really doesn't sound like a big deal, but when your mom is the one that's done that for you and taken care of that for you, it's foreign territory. So one of the things I did with my kids when they turned 16 was when we went to the doctor's office, from that point on, they filled out their own doctor's forms. Because at some point they would be going to the doctor without me, and I was sitting there so that I could answer any questions they didn't know, or to help them out in whatever way they needed. But they needed to be able to have the confidence to know when I go to the doctor and I don't have my mom there, I can fill this out correctly. So anyway, that was just one of the things that I thought was hard for Mykal, that I don't think she foresaw as being something she didn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah, that's the case too. Another thing too is like now I've just, when it comes to making like monetary decisions, I'm a lot more responsible in that. I can book my own flights now. I can, organize my own, like if I need somewhere to stay, like a hotel, I can book my own hotel. Things like that I actually didn't think of as like, oh, like those are, independent grown-up things. But now, as you were bringing up the doctor's appointment, I'm thinking, oh yeah, those are things I would never have done my freshman year in college.
Right, but now you're, it's no problem and you handle it. Right. So, okay, so let's go on down then to budgeting time, budgeting money. Those are probably all new to you when you go to college. And like you said, starting out in a dorm was probably easier because you didn't have to budget time to cook your food and go to the store to go shopping and that kind of stuff. But then now that you're in an apartment, you have homework and test dates and work. I know, you were working and things. So tell us about budgeting your time and your money.
So for me, I'll start with budgeting time. So earlier this semester, I had a job, I had an internship, and then I was taking 16 hours of classes. It's a lot, and it felt like I had no time to breathe. And so it was really coming down to me being able to figure out, okay, these are the hours in which I go to class. Those aren't going to change. These are the hours that my internship wants me. Those aren't going to change. And then figuring out in between there the hours in which I could work, and then the hours in which I could do like homework and do the things that my internship needed me to do, and that typically fell onto the weekends. So it was a lot of hard work, but just getting organized and making sure that I was getting everything done that needed to get done was really important, and a planner helped me out with that a lot. And when I was in high school, I did not use a planner at all.
And who's a really big planner in your life?
Oh, my mother. So I actually just got a planner for my birthday. So
from who?
I don't know. But anyways, so that really helped me to budget my time. And then as far as money is concerned, for me, it's I don't know how to. I've had to be very careful with how much money I spend in college, especially this year. I haven't been able to go out with my friends as much. I haven't been able to go out to eat or buy things that I don't need. I've even started giving myself kind of a monetary budget every time I go grocery shopping. It's usually I don't exceed $40. And so this semester that's been something, because I quit my job, which was an on-campus job, because it ended up being too much for me to handle that in my internship. So I've really had to budget what I can and can't afford at the grocery store, and then I've really stopped going out completely, except for every once in a while. I might go out with my friends. I got some money for my birthday, so I used that to go out with my friends. But it's really just getting to a place where you are comfortable knowing, okay, like, I can afford this, and I can't afford this, so I'm going to stick with what I can afford, and then having the, self-control to stick with the decision.
Right. Very good. What did your parents do well to prep you to go to college? And I did not prep her with this question, so
I'm going to with any of these questions.
I'm going to be hearing this for the first time, so sock it to me.
Well, as I mentioned before, I had chores growing up, and so I feel like I'm betraying the kids' code by saying this, but I was blessed to have chores growing up, just because I got to college and I knew how to clean a bathroom, I knew how to clean a toilet and a bathtub. I had a sweet mate my freshman year who told me that they didn't know how to clean the shower, which, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard, but I guess some people it would just not something that they were taught growing up. And
right.
So I knew how to do my own laundry, I knew how to do all of those things, and so I would say that in terms of just being able to take care of myself and like maintaining my home where I live and like my well-being, that's what you and Dad excelled at.
Okay. What did we not do well to prep you for college? Like I said, she didn't know this was coming at her,
yeah.
So, and I don't know what her answer's going to be.
Okay. This is going to be a weird one, but it's like, when I was growing up, and you and Dad would always tell me that I was gifted, and like how gifted I was, and that kind of boosted my ego and made me think, I don't need to study, and I didn't at the time. And so then when I got to college and things were difficult, and I tried to start studying, and that was a bit difficult for me, and then I finally got that down, but was still struggling in some other subjects. Like Christian doctrine was a very difficult class. It was for theology majors, and I didn't know that at the time, and I was a freshman taking a senior level class. But that was knowing what I had been told growing up, that I was gifted, and then failing in that class, like where I had fallen to, it really made it hard for me to feel like I was doing a good job anywhere else. Like I was really beating myself up for not being able to handle that class. So,
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It was not something like I'm not mad at you for it or anything, but
no, it was a growing time, obviously.
Yeah.
You had to adjust.
Yeah. It's just going from a period in which I was like the smartest person ever in my mind to wait, no, you're not.
We never told her she was the smartest person ever.
No, in my mind.
And I do think we did tell you, especially your senior year, high school's nothing like college. You're going to have to study, you're going to have to apply yourself.
Yeah, but at that point I'm just saying I just didn't know how.
Right.
And because I had never had to at that point,
right.
And I was not encouraged to. And I'm not saying that's on you. I'm just saying that I didn't feel the need to study. I'm sorry.
No, I want you to be honest. I don't want you to feel like you can't say anything. So, through all of your college and everything, how did God play a role? How did your relationship with Jesus play a role at college?
So I go to a Christian college, and so Jesus and God are at the forefront of pretty much everything that Belmont puts out. And for me, at first, it was so different than being here at home, where it was like I was went to church every Sunday, we never missed, and we're constantly in church. And then at Belmont it was just there, so it was okay, I'm getting my Jesus time. And then I woke up on Sunday mornings and nobody was forcing me to go to church or anything like that. And so it was like, hey, maybe I could sleep in a little bit. And then like that kind of sent me on a downward spiral to where I was like, oh wait, like I don't have to go to church right now. But then I came to a point in my life where I was like missing being in church and missing that fellowship and that time with Jesus. And so me and my roommate started exploring churches around the Nashville area, and we finally landed at a church called Ethos. And Ethos has been absolutely incredible. It is full of people who genuinely like want to learn about God and want to have that relationship with Jesus Christ, and the worship is phenomenal. And so after my freshman year, I started being able to regularly attend Ethos with one of my friends, and it was really nice being able to get back into the lifestyle that I had known before my freshman year at college.
So, okay, one thing that parents might want to hear about is, I think it was your sophomore or junior year, you came to me and you said, hey, I found this Bible. And it was interesting because Mykal had probably, I don't know, 5 Bibles that you owned at the time. But I hadn't bought her a Bible since I think you got baptized maybe, or middle school,
7.
Something like that. So, it didn't dawn on me until my daughter came to me and said, hey, Mom, I found this Bible that I really like, and I'd like it for Christmas. And so, of course, I went right out and bought it. But as looking back now, I have a son that is in the Marine Corps now. So before he got deployed, I bought him a Bible that I thought would be more adequate to his adult type needs. And before Noah goes off, I will do the same thing. So that might be an idea for parents as well, is to, if it's been a while since you bought your child a Bible, and maybe it was middle school or younger, just explore some Bibles with them. Tell them to go, look on Amazon, go look at Christian book distributors and see what kind of Bibles are out there. Because Mykal picked one out. It's so awesome just for her. It's an amazing Bible. I don't remember the exact name of the Bible, but she got to pick out the color she wanted. And then it's got great little side areas for her to write notes or to draw. And any of you that know Mykal, she's very creative. Her major in college is songwriting, and she's also very talented at art. And so this Bible was the perfect Bible for her. And I'll see it laying around sometimes, and I will see where she's like drawn a flower and then like made a line to scripture and highlighted something, and it all ties in together for her. So it really was the perfect Bible for her.
Yeah.
How did you stumble across that Bible?
So actually, my roommate my freshman year, her name was Kelsey DeRosa. She's still one of my really good friends. And she had gotten a note-taking Bible for her mom for Christmas, but before she was going to give it to her, because she bought it in like September, she wanted to draw something or highlight a special scripture on every single page of the Bible. And so she enlisted my help, and she was like, Mykal, I need you to draw some things for me. And I was like, sure, why not? And the more I saw like what she wanted me to do with it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is incredible. This would be so cool for me to have. And so then that's when I asked you for the note-taking Bible.
Awesome. So thinking back, before you left for college, how could your church family have prayed for you? What could they have done for you? Because we have a bunch of seniors that will be graduating this May. They might not get to walk down the aisle, but hopefully they'll get to start college in August. What could your church family have done better, or what did they do well? I know that's a hard one because that one's out of the clear blue too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I think for kids that are staying local, just having like a college age group,
the renewal group,
like the renewal group, having that kind of like fellowship available to them is awesome. That's incredible. Now, for students that are maybe going, farther out into the world, maybe out of state, I would just let them know that they're not, that they're important to you once they're gone, that they're not just going to, you're not just going to forget about them when they're gone. And not that happened to me, but like I said earlier about, just feeling like the world was going on without me. Just kind of keeping us in mind that are out of state. And
so maybe like send you a little note or something.
Yeah, or just even something like on Facebook maybe,
message?
like thinking about you, or like, Just to let us know that, hey, you're still a part of our church family. And
Yeah, said a prayer for you today or something.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, okay. So any other words of advice, any scripture that really helped you out? Any final thoughts as we get ready to make our bread?
Okay. One thing that has really helped me, especially the last 2 years of me being in college, is a verse from Proverbs. She is clothed in strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. And so for me, college has been very stressful. It's been incredibly fun, but very stressful at the same time. And I have let myself stress about the smallest things. In fact, my mom can attest to this. I was very worried once they, extended spring break and canceled school until the 4th. So for now, school is still on, but these are the things that worry me right now because I am a senior and this is my last year of college. And the thought that I might not get to go back really scares me. But
you hold on to that verse.
yes, you hold on to that verse and remember, she laughs without fear of the future. That's something that I try to work really hard to do because it's really hard.
Right. But it's so appropriate, not just for our time right now, but you've had a few difficulties in your life. So I love it that that's the verse you're holding on to right now, and just hold on to it. And also, you might want to scoot the bread over. We'll kind of lighten it up a little bit. So, okay, we haven't quite let it go for 30 minutes, but what you need to do now is you need to take your, I should let you do this since you had all the messy hands. Yeah, go ahead.
Wash them.
You need to break it into 6 pieces.
Do you want me to put on here?
Well, yeah, let's first put some flour out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna modify this recipe again, just because we don't have a rolling pin here at Grace, or at least not one that I can find. So we are going to break it off, and we're going to kind of push it out on the tabletop here.
Before I put it down, or?
Yes, you need to break it off into 6 pieces, and make sure you have six kind of even sizes.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep it on the flour so it doesn't stick.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No harm, no foul. We'll still eat, right? It is kind of falling though on you.
I know. I gotta kind of separate it out a little bit more.
And you might need to put some more flour out. I don't know. You still have a lot over there, so it's whatever you want to do. So.
Gotta evenly distribute these.
Right.
I think that's about good.
My artist over here, they probably all need to look very nice, don't they?
Yes. Gotta be, appealing.
Right.
You want to eat them.
Okay. So now just start, kind of pushing them out. If you had a roller, you could roll them out, but we're going to make do with what we have here today, and she's going to push them out. These might be mini street tacos. I don't know, depending on the size of the flatbread. But whatever it is, like I said, it'll eat, and I'm really excited about this because, like I said, I am a huge chalupa fan. So
I do like one of these things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh wait, no, it's gonna
No?
be 10.
Okay, don't. Michael asked if we could use corn flour, so it's more of a traditional style. Possibly. I am not a Julia Childs in the kitchen, so I am not one to ask.
Okay, and is that?
I say that's a good
I
enough
don't
to
think
give
it's
it a
gonna
go.
get flatter than that without tan.
No. Okay, and then we're gonna take it, and we're gonna, you know what, we're probably gonna spray this just to make sure. Just because, like I said, I'm not a Julia Child, so I don't know really. But hey, what a great time to learn when, we're all quarantined inside the house. So it said have your griddle on to 350. That's what I do, but I don't know if this is spray smoke or if this is my flatbread smoke. So we'll see here in a second.
Another one coming up.
Okay. And it says keep them on there till they're golden brown. So I'm just going to stand here and kind of watch them, and I'll kind of lift up a end. They're kind of getting a little goldeny, so we'll stand here and just keep watching them.
Oh no,
but,
that one might be a bit too flat. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep working it out.
I'm fixing it, I promise.
So I know that several of you have seniors in high school that are heading off to college, and I just want to encourage parents. It is difficult as being a mom that sent her child off to, first I sent my first one off to another state, and then I sent my other one off to another continent.
Yeah.
So it's hard, it's difficult, and if you ever need somebody to talk to go have coffee with, moms, my email is Dyann, Dyann, at graceontheweb.org. Email me. Like I said, I have a Marine, and I have one that's getting ready to graduate college and one that's getting ready to go into college. So this is a new season in my life, and we can try and do this together. I can try and give you the knowledge that I have. I'm not saying I know everything. Believe me, I don't. But we try to give it our best go, and we've got some pretty great kids. I know a lot of other people here at Grace as well that have sent their children off to the military or to college somewhere else, or even just getting your child into college, and that whole process, and helping them make it through college, whether it's Missouri Western, Northwest, or the Air Force, or whatever they choose.
Belmont University.
It's hard. It's hard as parents to change that phase in our life where we were, pretty much doing so much for them, to now, especially, we have Chase Ford behind the camera. Y'all can't see him and hear him, but he's graduating from Missouri Western. Or did you already, Chase? He already graduated. This adulting thing, it's changing the dynamic of the relationship from parent to child to adult child. And it's hard. It's really hard, because you still kind of feel like you need to do the parenting thing. And you do, but you need to do it in a different way. That dynamic, and finding that dynamic, is sometimes difficult and sometimes kind of stressful for both, And I think open communication is the key. I would be very frank with her at times and be like, okay, not answering a text, not cool, ever. Have we had that conversation?
Oh, just today.
Yes, okay, so, and then, she would also have frank conversations with me with, you know what, I've got it handled, you need to step back. And it was like, okay, so, except she doesn't really talk like that. She's a lot nicer than I am, but that's the way I heard it, because that's the way I talk to myself. So, anyway, as you can see, I think our flatbreads are looking great, honestly. The only thing is they might be a little bit too thick because we didn't have a rolling pin. But honestly, I'm really excited to try these. I don't know. Oh, that one's not too golden brown. Like I said, I'm not a Julia Childs in the kitchen. So, but we're having fun, and we're making Navajo flatbread. So thank you very much, and I hope you'll tune in with us again next week, and we'll be cooking something else. Make sure you check the Grace Women's Facebook page for the ingredients that you'll need for next week, so that way you'll have them. Thank you very much, and have a great day.